Are you struggling with feeling stuck in your life journey? Does it seem as if the challenges or conflicts that you keep experiencing are on repeat? Healing through feeling could be your new way through to a more satisfying life. Now, here is the host of the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide, Sharyn Nichols.
Welcome, everyone, to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the Inspired Choices Network. And I am so excited for today's show. Now, I know that sounds a bit odd because I'm going to be talking about grief and loss. And the excitement that I have around that is because we get to have all of our feelings move through it all and then come out the other side. And so I was a bit apprehensive to talk about this topic because grief, it's everywhere. We're forever losing things, people, relationships, tangible and intangible, all of that. And I'm so excited to be open to this conversation of your own right in your own timing to be letting go of your process or being a part. It's about feeling to heal. So I'm going to come back all around to that. And thank you again for listening. And as usual, I'm going to start with a meditation. So just going to take a breath and stretch my neck and just really anchor myself in my chair. So breathing slowly and deeply in and out, relaxing, settling. Coming into the present moment, the here and now. Breathing in light, exhaling love. Notice that you are safe. Now bringing to your mind a loss of a relationship. This can be a recent breakup or one that you keep coming back to over the years. It's okay. You are safe. They are just thoughts. Receiving a breath. So let's start with your body and your immediate somatic experience. What are you feeling in your body? What bodily sensations do you notice? Do you feel grounded, spacey, tight, hollow, full, edgy, dull, squirmy? What do you notice? Don't interpret, just feel. What is your body saying to you right now? Receiving a breath. Now bringing yourself to your heart in the middle of your chest and simply feel your heart holding the grief, being filled and heavied by that grief. Your raw, tender, loving, vulnerable, beating heart. And just rest with that. And notice that you are safe. Receiving a breath. Let's bring your awareness now to your throat. So often, the throat is connected with grief. As it wells up in tightness and has a kind of ache that can arise when we're about to cry, when we're shocked or have a sense of loss. Notice where else your grief is being held in your body. It could be in your heart, in your throat, in your stomach. They all hold something. They are all processing something. Without words, without direction, naturally, the body knows. Now let's direct your attention to what emotions you are experiencing, be it sorrow, anger, a quality of love, disappointment. There could be a sense of intensity or a sense of just being dull. Note what emotions are arising. No need to be embarrassed or afraid to feel whatever you are feeling. Please don't judge what you're feeling. Just feel. Let your emotions manifest. Welcome them. Notice you are safe. There's no need to suppress them or to feed them. Emotions are the energy of our grieving, and they change. They're always changing, like life itself. Be gentle. If you start to feel overwhelmed, receive a breath. Take a little break. Rest. Resettle. Allow yourself time to rest in your present moment, bodily, emotional experience. Just rest, just feel, just be. Let the grief do its work. Let the grief heal you. No need to push or be impatient. Allow yourself to grieve. process this change in your life. Let it teach you. Reflecting on the grief in your life, on the losses that you've had, on the endings of relationships, and how all of your losses connect you with so many others. Just bringing your attention to that fact can be so healing. It happens to everyone. It may be hard to accept change. It can be hard to say goodbye. When you stop fighting the inevitability of the loss and the change, a new and deeper love and appreciation is possible. No longer do we need to take our friends, our loved ones, or our life altogether for granted. We liberate our love, our joy, and appreciation in a very powerful way through this difficult journey, through loss, through grief, through sorrow, with a vulnerable and tender heart. Take a few moments and breathe in light through your nose and love out through your mouth. Bringing yourself back into the room, noticing that you are safe and held. Feel your body resting on the surface it is resting or sitting on. Breathe. And when you are ready, allow your eyes to open. And we're going to go to break now. And when we come back, we're going to talk about losing love, loss, grief, and all that we can learn from it. So thank you so much for listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the Inspired Choices Network. And we will be back in a moment.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols Show with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. And just before break, I did a wonderful meditation on grief and loss, and it is so part of the process of life. It's the yin and the yang. You can't have one without the other. In order for you to know what you have, you need to lose it sometimes. And I know that sounds a bit harsh, maybe, although I chose this topic to end the love series because ending relationships can be just as painful as actually finding love. Because finding love is about being vulnerable and communicating, and losing love is also about being vulnerable and communicating. Feelings are all real. They are all right. They are yours. No one can tell you how to feel. No one can tell you what you should feel when. We should on ourselves and we should on each other. We judge. Sometimes I do feel like a broken record. I do. And it's okay because I have to say it over and over and over again to myself so I get it. Because the only way out is through. If you think about life, from the moment you were born till the day that you die, everything in between is filler. You have a choice as to how you are going to feel. You have a choice as to then how you're going to react to your feelings, although we've been so conditioned to think, do a certain way. We make so many assumptions and so many judgments of ourselves, and then, of course, those around us. I'm going to bring it back around for a moment. When we first fall in love, we have the romance stage. We're filled with all that wonderful, incredible oxytocin. And so then we're in the power struggle stage. And as I mentioned last week, this is where couples can get stuck. So this is where we can get stuck as individuals. And it's really important that you be willing to look at yourself. Because a lot of the grief and the loss that we experience when we lose a relationship, when we lose a partner or a spouse, is the fact that it's so difficult for us to sometimes look at ourselves, not to beat yourself up. I mean, it's the 5 stages of loss: shock and denial, which completely takes away from all that oxytocin that we had going on in our brain. So we've got all these different chemicals floating around in our head. Oh no. So there's shock and denial. Then there's the anger, the sadness and the bargaining, the what ifs. Oh my gosh. How many of you have stayed up all night with the what ifs? I have. Ruminating, saying, oh my gosh, if I had only done that, if they had only done this. I mean, it is so easy to blame yourself or to blame your partner. And why? Each relationship that I have ever been in has been an incredible learning experience. You know, when I first got divorced, everyone's like, oh, you failed. And I'm like, what? No. I never saw getting a divorce as a failure. I saw it as an incredible learning experience. And I learned so much about myself that I was able to take responsibility for my part in the relationship. And what my former husband does is on him, and I have nothing attached to it. Because that's the thing. Because we care so much about someone, that we fell in love with them in the first place, that we still want them to keep succeeding. Even though we're mad at them, even though it hurts. And there's also no difference between being the breaker up or the breaker up-y. Both hurt. There's guilt in both. There's breakups suck. You know, I always songs always come to into my head whenever I'm with a topic, and I have always loved Paul Anka's versions, both of them, of Breaking Up Is Hard to Do. The first one was very popish, and then the second one, he just slowed it down and it was much more of a ballad. And even though I'm in a really awesome relationship, I still love Breaking Up Is Hard to Do, because it is. And they say that breaking up is hard to do because it is. Otherwise, we wouldn't get caught up in the power struggle stage as much as we do. We would just move on. We would just let go. Although we get so caught up in our head that we can't let go. Because, oh, if we just do, or, oh, if they just do, it's exhausting. Sorry, I'm singing Paul Anka in my head. And you know, he got to #1 with both versions. And it still makes me happy, even though the song should, in here, I am now shitting on myself, make me sad. Yes, I know it's not just a Paul Anka song, except he was the first one to record it. He wrote it. He co-wrote it. Sorry, I was put in the chat that it wasn't just Paul Anka. Yes, a lot of people have recorded the song, which is it's fascinating to me also, and another complete way that the song has been recorded so many times, because it is universal. The feelings of loss are universal. And that's why there's groups. There's therapeutic groups that you can join. And this is part of even the trauma bonding that you can have it is. Loss is one of the ways that we bond with each other. You know, I was actually having a discussion about this and about loss, and how the grieving process is different for everybody and everyone. And who's to say what is right and what is wrong? Because it's your process. And I know on the show that I did do on grief and loss, I mentioned that 25 years ago, I said something to a girlfriend and telling her that she had a time period that with which she was going to, I was going to let her grieve. Oh my God, was I such a fucking idiot? And I still, I apologize again for ever thinking or for projecting that onto you, because that was just not fair. And I am so grateful that I can actually see that. I'm so grateful that there is, that I can change, that I'm willing to look at myself and my experiences and know that I can do something different next time. And I can just allow myself to also be human and feel my feelings. Because relationships break up for a lot of reasons. And often it's no one's fault. And nobody really is to blame. Just things didn't work out. You know, in human design, there are, you know, when you put two charts together and you make a connection chart, there's 9 and 0, nowhere to go. 8 and 1, let's have some fun. 7 and 2, we got work to do. And 6 and 3, I apologize, I'm blanking on that. The 9 and 0 is you're good together in your own little bubble. The 8 and 1, let's have some fun. That means that there's an opening, there's an allowing, and it's just let's have fun because you just compliment so much. And then there's a 7 and 2 where there's work to do. So the 9 and 0 could be maybe too smothering, and then the 7 and 2 could be there may be just too much work, or there may be just way too much shoulding going on. And the 6 and 3, again, I shouldn't even bring it up because I don't remember. Not that the 9 and 0 and the 8 and 1 and the 7 and 2 are true predictors of the relationship. I'm just fascinated by all of the relationships that I am in. And then when I put my clients' charts together with their relationships, what then that means. Because bottom line is you are yourself first. And so therefore, sometimes things just don't work out, and it's okay. It does not mean that you have failed. What I'd like to think is that you will walk away from the experience and learn something about yourself. You know, learning what you don't want is just as important as learning what you do want. So on that note, we're going to take another break. So thank you so much for listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, and we're talking about loss of relationships, loss of love. And so when we come back, we're going to go deeper into it. And I have some suggestions as to what you can do to help yourself to soothe your broken heart. See you back in a minute.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols Show with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, and thank you so much to listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, licensed marriage and family therapist and self-proclaimed life guide. I would love to hear from you. Please reach out to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com with thoughts, feelings, and share some of your actions and reactions that you may just need reframing. I'm in the process of working on a program that will unravel or unroll or roll out, I suppose is the better word, for all of you incredible listeners, so I can help even more, so I can take it to the next level, because I have gotten so much as a human being from doing this podcast that I want to now share. I want to share what I've learned. So that being said, I'm now going to bring it back to today's topic, which is loss and grief, and the things that I have learned, or the things that you can learn from the loss. Sometimes, actually, it really is them and not you. We can see breakups as an opportunity to learn more about ourselves. And in case you haven't really been listening, and I know you have, I'm all about going deeper within myself to really, truly understand myself, so then I can be the best communicator, the best partner, relationship, mother, daughter, friend, coworker, all of that. Because I guess I got very early on that, sorry, I've just had a flood of thoughts. I got very early on that as a therapist and a helper or a guide or coach or any of those things, if you will, those constructs, that I was the one, I needed to perfect myself. And so 80% of the time, I'm 100%. I am probably 95% of the time in the here and now when I'm sitting across from somebody, because I've done such the work that I've needed to do in order to be able to do that. And so the thoughts I'm having, as a therapist and when I started as a trainee, the first, and it was always a year commitment or a 2-year commitment. And although either way, in the beginning, we weren't allowed to take our clients with us. We had to leave them with the agency. And I always thought that was so fascinating, because part of the process is letting go. And then sometimes it is also important to continue the work that you started. So it's about finding that balance. And finally, I guess the APA or the American Professional Psychiatric, psychology. You know what? I'm going to go with CAMPT because it's the California Association of Marriage Family Therapists. That one I know. They changed things up. So now ethically, we are allowed to take our clients with us should we leave, because are we doing them a disservice, or are we doing them a service by taking them or processing the loss or the change? See, that's also what loss is. Loss is just change. And it's inevitable. It's going to happen. There's actual stability in change. Think about that for a moment. Even now, change. Just from one tick on the clock, it's now changed. Change, just secondhand moved. Change. It's different than it was a second ago. And why are we so afraid of it? Why do we stay in relationships that aren't good for us? Because we're so afraid of the loss and being present. I'm going to receive a breath. I'm a little all over the place. And I'm going to apologize for that. Not that I'm doing anything wrong. I just need to center myself because I am so passionate about this. I am so passionate about how much time we allow ourselves to be depressed and to be in the anger and the sadness and the bargaining, rather than being in the acceptance. Doesn't mean we still can't have our feelings. Like, we've been so conditioned to not be vulnerable, to not share our feelings, to hold back, to be afraid of them, to, how many times were you told as a child, don't feel that way. You shouldn't feel that way. Or your feelings are not true. That's not true. Forgetting all the gaslighting, that's a whole other topic. We're never actually taught how to properly grieve. And so the ending of a relationship, we were never actually truly taught how to grieve. So here may be some things to help you after a breakup. Give yourself some space. You don't need to shut your ex out of your life, but it might be helpful to try to avoid them for a while. And that can also mean online too. So not necessarily block them, just hide them. Although, of course, look, if there's any abuse going on, it's always first and foremost to protect yourself. So my suggestions are, if it's a normal, whatever the hell that even means, break up. So keep busy. You might now have so much free time on your hands, especially on the weekends. So plan ahead and do things that you usually enjoy. You still can go to those places that you used to go. Sorry, yes, that's the Naked Eyes song that I now have in my head. Take time out for you. Do things that are relaxing. Take those baths, take those nature walks, meditate. Be self-soothing. Don't drink too much. Don't. that's all I have to say. Don't, because you know how you are and you know how you get if you use substances too much. Not judging, just saying. That's why I'm just telling you, don't drink too much. Don't go down that rabbit hole. Allow yourself to feel. Let the feelings come to the surface and then process them. Exercise, talk to a friend or family, someone who can support you. And it's also okay to want to have time to yourself. And it's also okay to use, and I'm using that word in the proper sense, to use other people to help you get these thoughts off of your mind. So it's a catch-22, or it's a good thing. It's a win-win. It's still about, I guess it's about creating a win-win. It's always about being in the present moment, be in the here and now, be grounded, because that is truly one of the other ways to get through. Don't be thinking about the past, and don't be worrying about the future. Have your feelings. Be in the moment. Give yourself time. Ease up on your expectations of yourself. Stop being mean to my friend. You. Stop being mean. Get as much sleep as you can and exercise. It's really important, because the more sleep and the more exercise, the more clear-headed you can be, the easier it will be to move through all the emotions. I know it sounds a little crazy, but it's true. Breathe. Just continue to breathe. We're going to go to another break, and when we come back, we're going to continue to talk about this topic of love, of finding love, of losing love, of keeping love, just love, the incredible motivator that is at the base of who we are as human beings. Thank you for listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. And I look forward to you coming back after the break to hear some more.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, and thank you so much to listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the Inspired Choices Network. And we've been talking about grief, loss of love, loss of relationships, just loss in general, because it's all intertwined. It's all one. Having love, losing love. It's still all the same. It's all together. We go through moments of totally being in love with somebody and then questioning whether we're in love with them. Doesn't mean that we're breaking up. It's what we do. It's what the mind does. So one of the biggest things that I really want you to know is whatever you're feeling right now will not last forever. It may take some time, and that's okay. And then also recognize that there will be good days and bad days, because actually that is life itself. So we know that on a good day, not necessarily that things are now going to be bad. We also know on a bad day that things may also actually be good. Just don't know. And that's okay. It is okay to just live and experience life, its ups and its downs. And so in the grieving process, again, we want the rolling hills, which is why it's no different. We don't need this, the staccato, and we certainly don't want this. It's about allowing the feelings, being, experiencing, growing, communicating, being vulnerable. And if you were the one that ended the relationship, it doesn't necessarily make the breakup any easier, because you still go through the what ifs, you still go through the doubting. And we're forever going to doubt, because that's how we've been conditioned. We have been conditioned to doubt our choices within the people we choose to be in relationship with, because we've not really seen a lot of healthy relationships, or if we have, we've sort of discounted, because truly nothing is perfect. Although all of the relationships, as I know I mentioned, last show, with regards to the dream, that we are sold, the fantasy, there's no place in the fantasy for there to be a breakup. Because if they do break up, they get back together, because each one has gone off and learned and done, and then bring it all back together. So if someone ended the relationship with you, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. Try not to take it personally, because people break up with people all the time. I do have a problem with the ghosting thing. This is an aside, because this just popped into the brain. Don't be a coward. Don't ghost. It's just rude. You don't like it if somebody does it to you, because you then you either take it personally, you start ruminating over what you could have done differently. Just communicate and say, you know what? I'm sorry. Or I apologize. It's just not working. I'm not feeling the connection. And I wish you the best of luck. It's simple. I'm not feeling the connection, and I wish you the best of luck. That shows emotional maturity. I don't know. I just got, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. That just popped in. And it's so true. So it's better to not be in a relationship than be in a bad one. So you don't have to be in a relationship to define you, to feel happy. You can create it for yourself first, which is what I've been saying. You must love yourself first before anyone else can love you. And so experience, feel all of your feelings. It's okay. Create the safe space and environment for you to be vulnerable for yourself and with yourself. There's no need to feel embarrassed or worry about what other people are going to think. How many times have you stayed in a relationship for way too long because you were so worried and afraid of what other people were going to think, or that you would never find love again? Not true. Try and see the positives in a breakup, because you can learn more about yourself and what you want in future relationships. That's why I keep saying sometimes a breakup are actually a blessing in disguise, because you really truly get to learn about yourself. There's no need to hold on to fear. Let go of the fear. Embrace yourself and all of your experiences, and be honest with yourself and take responsibility for your part and what you did create or didn't create out of fear of being judged, out of the assumptions that you made. It's about you communicating. And I was talking with a couple, and it's about the other day, and it's about over communicating. Just letting the other person know what it actually is going on in your head. And therefore, it may be just easier for you to actually be vulnerable, and maybe just make the breakup easier, because it's going to hurt no matter what. Pain is pain. There's no avoiding it. It's universal. You can't have the good without the bad. You can't have pain without no pain. How would you know? And it's just another form of energy. It's just love, actually. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. I am so grateful and thankful that you are here. Coming in March, we're going to be talking about new you and spring and birth, and what is it that you want to birth for yourself? Because it is a new year for springtime. So I look forward to seeing you all back here next week. And thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the Inspired Choices Network. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.
Thank you for choosing to listen to the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show. Sharyn Nichols will return next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, give up the struggle, feel all you need to feel, and make this week your best one yet.